Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear student and viewers. Today we discuss the data collection method step questionnaires. As you know that before steps 2 we discuss the data collection method step 1, that is the consist of interviewing. Today we going to be discuss the second part of the data collection methods questionnaire. As you know that the research process for the basic and applied research step 7 data collection methods analysis and interpretation, but now we have focus on data collection methods and discuss the guideline about the data collection. Data collection methods basically there are three main part of the data collection methods and the types: observation, questionnaires, interview. But we already have discussed the interviewing part of the data collection method. Today our focus questionnaires, and in this lecture we discuss the one part of the questionnaires, and the part 2 of the questionnaire is we discuss in the next videos, in the next lecture, in upcoming questionnaires. Questions is basically required how to measure the variable of interest. Questionnaires can be administered personally, mailed to the respondent, and electronically. A question is basically the pre-developed and already researcher written a set of the question according to their research and their studies need. Basically the questions are efficient data collection mechanism and systematically mechanism when the researchers know exactly what is required, how to measure the targeted and interest variable in their study. Questionnaires, you know that the questions are basically personally administrative questionnaires, mail questionnaires, electronic questionnaires, but here we discuss some important points of the questionnaires and some personally administered questionnaires points and some mail questionnaires based important points regarding to the questionnaires. But when the researchers is confined to the local area based data collections, organizations are willing to able to assemble the group of employees to respond to the questions at the workplace. Basically researchers choose a personally administrative questionnaires. When the researcher's attention is the main advantage of the mail questionnaires is the wide geographical area can be covered in the survey. Definitely the researchers going to be adopt a mail questionnaires approach, maybe a electronic, maybe a postal mail methods for taking the data collection from the different geographically based respondent. Personally administrative questionnaires, some important points. Basically the personally administrative questionnaires survey is confined a local area, collect all the responses with a short period of time, and the time of the collection of the questionnaires and from the respondent from is take a very less time, and also be a less expensive for collection of data through personally administrative questionnaires. Clarified any question on the spot, the researcher and the personally administrative personnel of the questionnaires can able to clarify any question from respondent and the personally clarified at the spot. Researcher also introduced the research topics before initiating the questionnaires to the group of people, the group of the respondents in the organization, in the peoples they are grouped or formed for distributing the questionnaires. Introduce their topics and motivate the respondent for getting the good response rate from the same like that. Less expensive and consume less time than the interviewing. You know that the interviewing have more expensive for getting the interviews, taking the time, and but in case of the personally administrative questionnaires, the researchers required a less budget and consume low time as compared to the self-administered questions. You have seen on the chart in the diagram, we have distributed the self questionnaires, administrative questionnaire, in basically two parts: the paper question based and electronic questionnaires. But nowadays, you know that due to the technology, the electronic questionnaires are mostly be more convenient, more easily to distribute, but the response rate as compared to the paper questionnaires and personally administrative questionnaire rate is very high as compared to the electronic questionnaires submitted by mail. But if you initiate your questionnaires, you distribute your questionnaires, the group of people, and in some computer labs, in some computers, their arrangements, they have that some tabs, then the researcher can easily got the result immediately as more effective. But you can be administrative paper questionnaires and also be electronic questionnaire. When we talk about the paper questionnaires, the mail, in-person drop-off, inserts, fax, that's all examples of the paper questionnaires. But when we talk about the electronic questionnaires, email, internet website, and KISOC. Some KISOC mean is some temporarily desk in the stand which have some computers and electronics machine is the system is there. You can be responsive easily. You can see KISOC type of example like that McDonald and KFC. There they have received some quick response. When you are going for giving the orders, you use the KISOC. In the airport also you use some temporarily stand of the desk you have self-administrative the stand. That's all about the examples of the mail questionnaires. Here is the most important points of the mail questionnaires: a wide geographical areas covered. When the researchers want to cover a more geographical area, mail question is more effective. Return rates of the mail questions are typically low, is 30% mostly, or had seen in the previous studies, the mostly 30% is the response rate of the mail question. And second disadvantage, advantage of the mail questionnaires, you cannot be able to clarify your questionnaires to the respondent at the spot. More expensive, as you know that mail, you needed a stamps, you needed a envelopes, you need some postal expensive or more expensive. But when the researchers want to take the convenient data collection mechanism, want to adopt a convenient data collection mechanism, the mail question is the most effective option for the researchers to collect the data through mail questionnaires. The next, the guideline for the questionnaires design. Inshallah, in the next steps, in the next videos, in the series of videos, we discuss the principles and guidelines of the questionnaires, how we build a better questionnaires, and some important guidelines regarding to develop and design the questionnaires. The principle of it, we discuss the principle. We will discuss the principle of wording. We will discuss the principle of measurement, and we will discuss the journal appearance and getup of the questionnaires. How the questionnaires are more effective and look like. Their appearance of the questionnaires, the most important for attract the respondent and make the easy for understanding the questionnaires for the respondent. The most important factor for the guidelines and during the developing the questionnaire. But in the next videos, inshallah, we will discuss some guidelines. Our one video will be based on the principle of wording, and one video will be based on principle of measurement, and the next video, third video, we will be inshallah we will be focused on the general appearance and get-ups of the questionnaires. Have a take care. Allah Hafiz. Thanks for watching our today videos and lectures.